not everybody can watch every anime, especially when your job is to watch 11 anime bare minimum every week.
Yeah, meanwhile, JoJo was like the one anime I watched that year.
Yeah, I'm watching one. Yeah, I think only one other anime in my free time right now, and that's Yotsuhiro Biori, the fucking thing about the 4 chef dudes.
The tea house thingy.
Yeah.
Guys, welcome back.
Oh,
Extra special welcome back to Grant.
Hi.
Back from vacation.
Yes.
Looking tanned and healthy and happy.
it's probably more sunburn than tan. Well, it might be tan now, but I was definitely burned initially.
We've all been burned by bad anime.
But not this week.
Not this week.
I was going to say, what a segue, but not for this week.
No. Today, we got that good shit. But we're here to talk about My Hero Academia, by the way. Before we move on to episode 49, Grant was actually absent.
Yeah.
For
48.
vacation.
Yes, which was an exciting episode, which kicked off our fight with All for One and All Might, and was an intense experience. I don't know if you guys talked about it all. I don't know what the deal is with that dude's head and not face thing. It's real gross and weird looking. Not sure exactly how he forms words, but...
Oh, no, he has a mouth.
Okay.
Yeah, in fact, in the last shot, if you'll
Yeah,
think,
we see like something get like ripped and he suddenly has a mouth, but it's like, does he just have like a flesh bag over his head or something? Is that how this is?
It is implied that in his fight with All Might, he was damaged so badly that whatever power that he had to to heal him could not undo all of it could basically just give him skin covering everything.
Okay.
It's pretty brutal by the sound
Yeah.
of it. But at that point, he still has a mouth. He can still talk, but he needs that contraption to help him breathe and converse because, again, he's still heavily damaged after the fight that he had with All Might.
Yeah, and we get the cool, totally not a rescue sequence for Bakugo, where he just happens to have an exit open perfectly for him, and he takes it because he is the champ who can do no wrong. He didn't need rescuing. He just saw a very good escape option when his totally friend and nothing more, Kirishima, reached his hand out and said, "Please take my hand."
Yeah. And I guess all these other guys were there too, but fuck those guys. They're
Yeah.
assholes.
Yep.
I'm Bakugo.
Not to linguish too much on that episode because we did talk about it last week, but
Yeah.
is that not one of your favorite parts of this arc? Because it's one of my favorite
It's
parts.
real good. I do like it a lot.
It's one of my favorite parts of the show, actually. If I'm going to be honest with you, just like at that last moment, them soaring over the sky.
The only thing that I will kind of give it pause about, and like I feel like I've been told that they address this more in the anime because we've kind of seen Bakugo and it's Kirishima, right? Is that the guy's name?
Kirishima.
Like we've seen them interacting more, and people be like, at least they foreshadowed for this moment better than they did in the manga, which to me makes me feel like even worse because I feel like it still didn't feel very earned. Like I feel like in kind of the background and in some backseat moments, we see them maybe sitting next to each other, but I don't think we ever see like camaraderie between them other than that sort of fillery swimmer episode where they are talking to each other before summer camp. They're like, Bakugo's like, Kacchan sees you as an equal. I'm like, I don't think he has ever expressed that. Like, he sees him maybe as a lackey, but like, it is always like, I'm on top, you will carry me there. Like, is the impression I have gotten on that friendship.
Thank you, Prince Raisin.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If you go back, you will notice that they often are standing next to each other. They're often talking with each other. If there's a group activity, they do pair up.
Okay.
They're often in close vicinity, and the only person that Bakugo takes backsass, even the slightest form of backsass from, is Kirishima.
Okay.
It's one of those things that if you're not paying attention to it, you might not notice it. And to that effect, it's actually a detriment. Like, I do think the show could have done a better job.
Because, yeah, the only reason I wasn't, I think, completely blindsided by this was seeing comments from people going, it's cool seeing Bakugo and Kirishima share a scene because that will matter later. And I'm like, oh, okay, so they're eventually going to have something.
Yeah, I think if nothing else, Kirishima was the one arguing the hardest for going to rescue Bakugo.
Yeah, which is fair.
And
he refers to him as like, my friend was lost.
Yeah, and I noticed it before, but I couldn't quite tell if that was like, no, I really like this guy, or more like, look, somebody's got to be this dude's friend.
Yeah.
Nobody else is stepping up to fill that role. I guess it's me, but No, it turns out
Turns out they're buddies.
yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough about last week's
Yep.
episode.
This week, we got episode 49, in which All Might's skinny form is revealed on live TV, and everyone freaks out. All for One combines several powers to make himself a big old Tetsuo arm, and All Might uses the last of his One for All powers to defeat him. In the aftermath, All Might tells Deku, "Next, it's your turn." And this is another one of those episodes where when you sum it up like that, not a whole
It
lot
sounds
actually
like yeah.
happened, but
The presentation goes a long way.
yeah, and the things that did happen are momentous.
Yeah.
We also got a lot of like flashback stuff about Shigaraki's grandmother, as it turns
Yes.
out, the previous holder of One for All.
Yeah. So,
Nana something.
Nana Shimura.
Yeah.
Not a visitor.
Yeah. I completely forgot that was his grandma. I thought there was in my head I was like, that was his mom, right?
Yeah, I assumed mom when they first revealed that they were related, but okay, I'll buy grandma.
Yeah. Yeah, so turns out that Nana Shimura, which by the way, I saw comments about this and I cannot remember because I don't remember every detail in the manga. They show her eyes. Apparently did not show her eyes in the manga, which I believe because I don't remember them showing her eyes. So yeah, the anime
She in fact has eyes.
yeah, and I think this actually ties into the movie that they're about to release.
So you're saying she's got the Sharingan.
But yeah, I think this ties into the movie because of the movie that they're going to be releasing soon. In fact, I'm going to be at Anime Expo when they're
Yeah,
doing
isn't
that
that when
premiere,
they're
so
premiering it?
I'm going to try and get in there because I really want to see this stupid movie.
Sneak away from the booth. Let's get in there.
Yeah, it's actually about All Might's past. So I think they went to the mangaka and said, "Okay, look, is there a reason you never see her eyes? Or are you just being obtuse?" And he was probably like, "I don't know. I thought it would
Your
be better
memory is
if
a
you
foggy,
didn't."
shadowy thing. It's more thematic.
And they're like, "Okay, can we just show her eyes? Yeah, that's how she looks. Cool." Also, real quick before I forget about this,
Sure.
there were two people watching the TV.
Yeah.
Who were they?
It looked like older Deku had settled down with someone when I first saw it. I was like, is this like a...
Oh, okay. I think they're in the movie because I don't. Am I crazy? People in the
No,
comments.
I noticed too. Yeah, just like, are these guys...
That or it's supposed to just be and here's what normal people are doing right now. Like people who are just inside at their homes.
I would agree with that, but
Because you see the students doing it, but that's like... There's reason to believe that maybe they're only this invested because they know All Might personally as a teacher. And like this, we need to show like the common folk, the common man, the normal like husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend in their apartment, something like even they're like, hold on, we got to stop everything.
okay,
'cause
they're
something's
just
going on
they're
with
just
All Might.
normies. Okay, cool. Thank you, chat. Yeah, apparently they're just normies. Okay, cool. Because it was weird. And I was like, oh, great. Now I can't remember. Are they people that we're supposed to know, or are they just random people?
Yeah, for me, I was like, is this like someone that we're going to get to know after this? Is this an important
Yeah, I was
character who's going
fairly
to matter
sure
later?
they weren't somebody that we'd seen before, but you're right. Like we sort of got the common man's perspective with some of the crowd reaction
Yeah.
shots.
Yeah.
and their designs were just distinct enough that it didn't seem like they were just there for background detail.
Okay,
but
cool. Then
Yeah,
then-
it was not just you.
All right. Then I just wanted to cover that. So yeah. So anyway, yeah, Nana Shimura, we get a lot of her in this episode, and that's kind of cool because up until now, Nana Shimura has always been kind of like this background character that we knew used to have this power, and
Yeah, until last episode, I don't think we got a name or anything like a design
Yeah.
for her.
yeah, huh? Well, no, we'd had a design. We'd
Had
seen
we?
her.
I think
yeah,
we've seen her like silhouette
Yeah.
before.
yeah. They never like full out show her. They gave us the closest we'd probably ever gotten the opening because they show her there.
Yeah, yeah. I like that the costume clearly shares some design DNA with Gran Torino's.
Oh yeah, we get
Some
to
lineage.
meet young Gran Torino.
Yeah, he was
tall.
tall.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Like, man, time has not been kind to you, sir.
Which, by the way, having Gran Torino in these last couple of episodes, watching him get to fight is a treat because he's
Yeah.
animated like so quick and so powerful, and I love it.
Yep.
Yeah, some of my favorite stuff has actually been getting to see these other pro heroes who we don't get to see much. Also, real quick, sorry to jump back to last week's episode, but I wasn't here. What the fuck, Gang Orca or whatever?
Yeah.
What is his
Gang organized crime.
What the hell? What does he do? Like, is it just he's a part whale? Like, the end.
They explain his power in the manga as looks like an orca and has all the powers that come with it.
I'm sorry. Okay, no, we've got Froppy. I cannot argue this point.
Has blowhole.
Also,
Like, it's just-
whatever that power is, he's the number 4 hero. So it's
he's
gotta
as
be
powerful as a whale. Like, I'm just gonna
He's a whale of a hero.
has the mass of whale, yet is man. Anyway,
You like Krill?
like he just kind of really stuck out to me as like, also here's this guy who you've never heard of, and he's a fucking orca. Like,
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I love Gang Orca's design. I love getting glimpses, and yeah, we even get to see Ninja folding guy
Yeah.
like do his thing and watch him in battle, and and the other guys show up because I love that scene where he's targeting the girl in the back. This whole episode is just such a great showdown between All for One and One for All. I don't even know where to begin, where to start, what details to really focus on because there's just so much that happens. Like, oh my God, the reactions from people when they see All for One, when they see All Might in his
Yeah, starting to revert to his
Yeah.
skinny form.
and for a moment there, in my head, I would I was thinking to myself, shit, they're gonna turn on him. They're gonna see this shriveled up little dude, and they're gonna think,
all washed up.
yeah, but no. And it's great because All for One is standing over in the standing across from him, going once they see your hollowed cheeks and sunken eyes, they'll abandon you. And no, everyone's like, no, that's the guy who saved us. That's the guy who stood up for us. He's the guy who's our hero, and we're not just going to back down just because he looks like that.
Doesn't matter what you look like, you're still All Might.
Yep.
Yeah, I just watched Incredibles 2 this past week.
I haven't seen it yet.
Well, we won't go too much into that. That's not what
enjoyed
we're
it.
here to talk about. But it dealt with a lot of that same, heroes as somebody that you passively wait to save you versus heroes as something to strive for,
Yeah.
something to inspire you to be better yourself. And I think that's very much what this is. Seeing him like that might, on some level, shatter faith in his ability to just take care of everything, but it doesn't destroy people's affection for him.
Yeah. And here we see, God, the reactions from all the people watching this fight go down is actually really heartwarming. I won't lie to you. It's not something that I considered very often when usually I'm considering, well, what is my perspective on this?
Yeah.
But to see the emotional response from other people in the show actually was very effective, which is impressive.
One of the
considering.
most endearing possible shots of Grapehead Kid with him just crying his eyes out at the TV. It's just like, man, even you can manage to be relatable.
Yep.
They did mention something else that I'd been sort of low-key wondering about for a while, that he says All Might does not have One for All anymore.
Yeah.
He passed it on, and what he's been using since
Like
then
the
is
reserves.
just like the dregs.
Yeah, the remnants of that power, and that is something that has been kind of in the background, yeah, it'll go away. When? Well, we don't know.
Yeah.
I think we know.
I think that time has come.
Yeah, well, yeah, he does that final punch, and he says, farewell, One for All. As far as, and we don't know whether that's, literally the case if he just has nothing going forward. And by we, I mean me and Grant.
Yeah.
Scott probably does. But as far as he's concerned, as far as he can tell, he's like, yeah, this is probably it.
Yeah. Also, real quick, while I love this show and it's great, I did actually, while I was visiting family, my mom likes more fantastical kind of shows and stuff, so I was like, you should maybe check this out. It's on Hulu. Go ahead and watch it. But then also jumping back into, I have made my hand full of so many powers that with one big punch, I'm going to kill you. Just this is a cool, epic moment, but at the same time, I was like, man, just hearing that out of context sounds so dumb. I filled my hands with bones and metal. I'm going to punch you so hard. It's over.
Kinetic booster ×3. And Bob like just naming them, and his arm grows bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's like, yeah, that's a Tetsu arm.
Spear bones.
But it's a. I also love that shot. Although I will say this, so in the manga, you know that shot where the punch happens and then he switches to the other arm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a bit quicker in the manga. Which
Yeah.
I actually in here they play it out for this big dramatic effect. In the manga though, it's more of a fake out. It's more of a counter than it is like what they show in the anime, and I feel like it was more effective there. If only because it's the split moment of like, nope, faked it out. Here's the real punch. But I don't know. How did you guys feel about that? How did you feel about the like, nope, it's actually in my left arm. Fuck you.
Not having anything to compare it to, I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
Like-
It was effective for me.
Yeah, it's just kind of part of the genre that things that in real time probably took about 0.25 seconds are slowed down for audience comprehension.
Time dilation for dramatic effect.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I'm familiar. But yeah, so here but it's still. And then we've got to talk about maybe the coolest attack name of all time. Like you can't argue. United States of Smash. Oh my God. I remember the first, so again, I'm the guy who read the manga, so reading it for me, I was like, I was psyched. I'm like, oh my God, that's his biggest attack, you know, and it sends buildings twirling in air as the vortex of the force of the punch hits, and I'm like, that's the, holy shit.
Yeah, it did. As most superhero movies post Man of Steel have done, it does kind of make you go like, wow, that's a couple of city blocks that are just rubble
Just
now.
gone.
And I mean, headcanon, whatever. You kind of assume that these guys have had superheroes for long enough that society has probably just come to terms with this as the price of doing business.
Hey, guess what? Sometimes collateral damage just happens.
Yeah, like we were asking last episode or the episode before, like, how long have they had superheroes? They're not, like they say,
Like
like
a couple
what, 7 or 9
generations.
generations
Yeah.
of One for All. And people were saying in the comments that the common fan canon, I don't know if it's official canon, is that society kind of got thrown back.
That's not fanon. That's,
okay,
yeah,
that is-
and sorry. Yeah, we were talking about that. Yes,
we?
and
Okay.
yeah. Well, we were talking about that last week about like, so how did that happen? And yeah, no, they go over it in the manga, and I completely forgot about that. Yes. So when quirks were introduced, shit went sideways real quick because they had no idea of how to deal with it. Like I think it was at least, oh my God, was it 50 years where things just got real bad? And then so like it was in that 50 years that things got bad, and then they started making their way back up to a society that, you know, managed what ultimately like. So a lot of people talk about like, well, okay, let's talk about X-Men. What if everybody did have powers? Wouldn't society go nuts? Yeah, it probably would.
Yep.
In fact,
Things would probably collapse real quick.
yeah, trying to account for that would be an utter nightmare. And it would probably, like, if you could, it probably would take generations to do. And that's basically what happened in My Hero. And for better or for worse, it does not seem interested in telling us that story. And you know what? I like My Hero as it is. I like being able to focus on the current stories. I guess I don't really need to know what happened in that 50 some odd years of just terrible bullshit happening.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with just taking it on faith that, yeah, things were kind of fucked for a while, and all of the differences between this world and the way the real world works, you can just kind of chalk up to that. They kind of had to
they were
rebuild.
figured out in that gap.
We kind of already got a little bit of snippet of that whenever they explained how One for All became a thing.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, so All for One immediately took over. And
Yeah.
then,
Yeah, they were talking about that All for One, like, was one of the biggest, like, mob, basically
he
a
already
mob
had a
boss.
fucking army.
Yeah.
Also, real quick, how many students do you think went, that's the guy that's been hanging out with Deku? Whenever they saw his transformation on the TV.
You know, that's a good question. Not a lot of people have seen him hanging out with Deku, though. Have they?
Yeah, in his skinny form?
Sports festival, everyone just walks in and All Might's just sitting there talking to him. He
Oh,
just freaks out
yeah.
and leaves.
Yeah, but,
maybe.
like, I think there's a lot going on there. I'm not sure that that's a huge deal.
Yeah, I also think that anybody who cares enough to sit and think about it has realized, yeah, All Might seems to have a special relationship
Well,
with
yeah,
Deku.
like Todoroki, brings it up. He's like, there's clearly something going on, and Bakugo also brings it up, and I'm sure he's even closer to the situation considering that one of the last shots we see is after, All Might's big call out of "you're next."
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Oh man, he's talking bad trash to the villains."
Yeah.
But like Deku starts crying because he
Yeah.
knows it's a message meant for him. Like, you're the one. You got to take the stage now.
Yeah.
And Bakugo is like, the whole crowd's cheering. Deku's crying, and Bakugo is staring at Deku. Like he I think has also picked up on what this message is.
I'm not
and
gonna
is pissed.
I'm not gonna spoil anything, but that's a pretty good. That's an astute.
Yeah, because like
acknowledgement.
he notices, and I think that's going to matter.
Yeah, I think that's like the biggest bombshell of this couple of episodes is, yeah, this shit that I've been prepping you for, that is now.
Yeah, you're here.
You are the next generation, ready or not, deal with it. And I'm curious, so are you guys still watching the dub?
I
Yeah.
am.
Okay, because there's a moment that I'm curious if they translated it the same way, where it seems like All Might might legit die here, and he's thinking, no, I haven't finished training him. I've got to live, even if just to train him. And he says, I should have reprimanded him. I should have reprimanded him.
Yeah.
Was that
He
the same?
does say that in the dub. He goes, "You're right. I should have reprimanded him," because I think it's right after. I think it's shortly after someone mentions like, you're going to die with regret because Izuku Midoriya isn't ready. Yeah, because all for One is like, Midoriya is not ready, and you know it. And he's like, and now you're going to die with regret, knowing that your student is
Yeah.
incompletely taught.
Yeah, he's referring not specifically to that moment where he should have reprimanded it, but more I should have been harder on him to be, hey, make sure you don't act too rashly.
Yeah, and that's what I took from it. I thought it was just a slightly awkward piece of wording.
Yeah.
Yeah, it honestly it was. I'm gonna admit like
I
Okay.
thought it was going to turn around because he says something like, "As a mentor, I should have reprimanded him." I thought it was going to turn, but as a hero, I couldn't be more proud or something. Like, because he, did the thing that in the first 2 episodes we really harp on, which is, the thing that makes you a real hero isn't your superpower; it's the fact that you run in when everybody else wants to run away.
Yeah.
And that's what Deku consistently does. And so I figured that's how I was going to turn it. Is like, and that's how I know I've picked the right student. But instead, it was just but I can't leave until it's done.
yeah.
Which is also real cool.
And it's also really interesting to see All Might's response to finding out that Nanashimura was Shigaraki's grandmother. The dawning realization and the psychological effect it has on All Might is stunning. It's very well presented. And I love how fucking All for One is like, oh, come on, that's something I would
Totally something
do.
I do. You know this.
Yeah, and I'm just sitting over here like,
Practically my brand of jackassery here, All Might.
precisely. I thought that was such a great line because it's like, search your feelings, you know it to be true. And I'm like, fucking, okay, look, Kohei, I know that you're like super into Western media, but come on. But yeah, it was. I've been wondering how this episode would be handled because when I was reading this the first time, this whole lead up happens it feels like out of nowhere because you don't expect All for One to show up. You expect, a battle with the League of Villains leading to some climactic battle, but not All for One and not All Might losing his power. So as I was reading and as we were getting up into here, it's a...
Yoshikage Kira has been defeated.
Well, as I was saying, it's a great hit out of nowhere. It's such a great, like, it makes sense that it happens here, but like, holy shit, it's happening. It's real, and it's huge.
Yeah, and I think it had to. I think we have had enough run-ins with the villains at this point that if we had just moved on from this without the status quo demonstrably changing, it would get a little villain of the week, a little more of the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be very interesting because things still stay heavy, like still get crazy from the arcs here on out. But it's so interesting to see, like, 'cause this could have been the end of, if they wanted to, they could have made this the end of the show. Like, this could have been one of those 52 episode series, and it's like the next couple of episodes will wrap this shit up, and that's pretty crazy. Because again, this whole fight feels like a final fight, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It feels like, yeah, this is
Like I said before the mics came on, like if I was a betting man, I would have put money on All Might dying in this fight, and this being I'm taking myself out to get rid of my one big regret is letting this guy get away. So I am going to end my life and career to put him down. Instead, he only had to pick one of those essentially, but like I was bracing myself for like, all right, here's All Might's dying speech is the whole, but then he's like, I have to stick around for Deku to be taught. I'm like, maybe he doesn't think he's gonna die here.
Well, it does the whole this is the last bit of his powers, that neatly solves the reason why most mentors die.
Yeah.
Which is, if they're that cool, why aren't they the one fighting the bad guy?
Yeah, and that's a very good point.
And like when he puts his arm up at the end, I was like 99% sure, like, oh, he's dead. Like he is doing a hero's pose, and like his body's going to like petrify or something. We're gonna get like, and thus the statue of All Might was erected, and we all remembered him on this day.
Slowly sinks into the molten metal.
Yeah, thumbs up as he goes down.
Although I want to talk about Gran Torino's line because it really hit me. It really stuck with me.
He's working.
Yeah, it's like, leave him alone. He's working. This is his last job. And I'm like, oh yeah, because he's really pushing himself, like to give himself that full body. If that last minute is just his last, like, hey everybody, like this is my last. This is the last.
Symbol
I
of
got.
peace, still right here. Also, I've been a bit of a public Bakugo apologist, and I do also like that Endeavor. We kind of, I think, see the kind of future snapshot of Bakugo mental state when Endeavor sees puny All Might. He's like, "What's with that tiny? Who the hell are you? This ruins everything. This isn't who you're supposed to be. You're the number one. Get him."
Yeah, and I like.
If anyone's gonna beat me, it's not gonna be this twig.
So, man, damn it! I want to take a moment to talk about Bakugo and this whole arc, but I feel like that's going to need to be a conversation for another episode.
Yeah, probably.
Especially because there's more Bakugo stuff coming up that's going to.
I get that feeling.
That's going to round out this arc actually. That I'm really excited about. Like, remember how I said like this was my favorite part, like that we just covered? Yeah. My second favorite part's about to happen. So. I love this arc. I'm just going to hold this up and be like, thank you, my hero, for being the best shonen we've had since the original Naruto. Just flat out. And some might even argue it's better than the original Naruto.
I would have to rewatch the original Naruto to make a fair assessment, but my gut says, yes, this might be better.
Yeah, like I'm tricking anyone here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would also, it's been a while since I've watched OG Naruto as well, and that did really catch me at a good time and good place, and I loved it. But I feel like I feel like this is one of those things, like, I might not have enjoyed it as much or something, but this is the better product, clearly. And that's kind of where I feel, like, I think it's totally okay for you to be like, I love Naruto more, and I think that's an absolutely okay thing to feel. But I think that this is just from production value to writing to foreshadowing to how it's been operating, this just seems like the better produced, better product.
Yeah, if I were 12, 13 years old and this was my introduction to shonen, my mind would be blown right now.
Like,
oh my god!
Like, I feel like if someone's like, all right, you can show this kid his first anime, this first shonen, what's it gonna be, Naruto or My Hero? I feel like My Hero is like
as far as I'm
1,000% the one I push.
Dragon Ball.
Like Dragon Ball, even like.
I mean, OG Dragon Ball. Like, I would absolutely sit my kid down with OG Dragon Ball and be like, you're going to have so much fun. And then I would probably show them My Hero.
I think I might go Dragon Ball for a younger kid, but for that prime shonen age demographic, like,
all right,
11 or 12 onward.
Oh, yeah, 11, 12?
You need a good coming-of-age story and boy power fantasy all at once. Yeah. Like, we got you covered.
Well, thank you for joining me here today, gents. We will see you again next week as we figure out what happens next?
I don't want to stop talking about my hero. Oh, it's so good.
In my 30-part tweet, you will get to see.
My 30-part debate with Martin.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's why I just backed off from that. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start
Yeah, this
being
is,
too specific, and it's not going to, as someone who is clearly just like outside looking in, talking
Yeah.
about it.
also
like,
this is clearly an emotional
Yeah.
issue for you in a way that it is maybe not for me.
Yeah.
So
My Hero Academia is a good show, and
It
it's a
is.
good
It's still a
manga,
good
and
show.
it continues to be a good manga, and I cannot wait for the next. God, we're about to wrap up the season, though. I think we only have like 2 episodes left.
that's going to make me so
well, this is
sad.
going. My Hero's going 26, isn't it?
Yeah, this is part 1 of 2, isn't it?
Yeah,
They
this
do
is
the
going on
24
into the
or
next
25 episode.
No way!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Does that mean we're gonna get the next?
We're gonna
Oh.
get that fucking part, dude.
Oh man! I
know.
didn't know we were gonna get that next. Oh, we're getting that. Yes!
We'll see you guys next week.